Hey guys, hey Facebook, this is Lorelai here, Instagram, YouTube. What the hell was that? Did you just see that? I don't know what that was in the background I saw on this camera, but let's continue because I'm not letting entities and dust and whatever stop me from doing this video. My name is Brooke, and I'm going to do a video today about my last video of the night, and I'm going to talk about something that has been very interesting to me. I really love mystery, and I love to understand people because I'm an artist and I like to create characters, and I need to understand someone psychologically, mentally, emotionally, and physically to understand what makes that person them. And I studied a lot of serial killers because I have this, it's a part of my dark side. I have this strange, I wouldn't say lust, but it's just interest in serial killers, the way they operate. Part of my, now the normal me would say being a serial killer is disgusting and it's not right, and innocent people should die. But the dark side of me has this weird lust. Like, I would see myself having a lust, being in lust with a serial killer, or not just a serial killer, but someone, a gentleman, kind of like someone who is very prestigious, someone who has a very dark side. I don't know why I'm attracted to that. Not saying I like assholes and jerks and stuff like that, but I've always been attracted to the minds of these very intelligent people that they embrace their darkness, but they're so clever at hiding and masking that darkness. Like, they'll be like anybody you see walking down the street. That gentleman at the office that always has the nice suits and looks fresh, clean cut, very nice gentleman, but when he goes home, he just collects pictures of dead bodies. I used to do that. Not collect pictures of dead bodies, but I used to be obsessed with death. I used to be obsessed with, if anyone remembers that website called ogrish.com where there were beheadings, I used to watch beheadings and snuff films. And it gave me nightmares, but I just kept watching and watching and watching, and now that I'm a sick bastard, it's just, one of the reasons why I kept watching that sick shit is to pretty much get over it, because this is what I'm going to have to deal with in life. I wanted to be a mortician. I actually was thinking about going to mortuary school because a lot of my family members passed away. My brother's body was the first one I've ever seen dead, that I've touched, and I've been to other funerals, but that one was serious, and I've seen a lot of family members pass away, and that's why I was like, I kind of want to be a mortician, because I do have an art background, and dead bodies, after you see a lot of them, you just kind of be like, whatever, you know. Not saying I might be sick in a little way, I don't know, I have a dark side, and I guess I have to be more open about it, but I don't really like to share it too much because I don't want people to judge me too much, because I know people judge me already, but I definitely I wouldn't mind being a mortician, but I had to go to school for 2 years. I don't have the money to do it. But this talk is essentially about, this is going back to the dark side. I'm heavily into the dark side. You know, that's just a part of me. I apologize if people think like I'm sick and twisted. I know there are parts of me that are very sick and twisted, but this is just a part of me, and whatever. What makes the mind of a serial killer, or not just a serial killer, but a very dark mind, especially men? Men have such a darkness to, basically like chess. You ever see those people that, you know, that person in school that doesn't really say much, you know, they're doing really well, they have straight A's, and then they just have this darkness. You don't know what's going on in their mind, and for some reason I'm attracted to that, and that's probably why I keep ending up with jerks. Because it's not that I'm attracted to jerks, it's just, if I could find somebody that their dark side, I'm very interested in it, because I'm very interested in people. Because as an artist, like I said, like I like studying characters, because I create characters. I create characters based on aspects of my personality, like Rain and Sue and Menstrual Cyclone and Jane Dopamine. I like to call her Jane Doe. Her name is Jane Dopamine. And my character, my personal character, like the one that I just draw of myself, and these characters, and Plasma Red, which is a new character. All these characters I create in my cartoons and stuff like that are different aspects of me that I have to understand and embrace. So when I see these aspects in other people, like, when you get to know someone, you see that lighter side of them, their mask, and when the mask comes off, it's quite interesting. I met some very interesting people that you wouldn't even think that they would have such a dark side. Like, you would think they're all perfect and conservative and, you know, in the limelight. They just, it's kind of like American Psycho. You know how that man was just, you know, he was like the perfect gentleman, and then behind closed doors, he was like this sick, twisted bastard. I guess I'm attracted to those types, and that's why I keep getting, you know, this backlash of pain. But it's just, it's certain aspects of yourself you see in others. And but what makes the mind of a serial killer, of a sociopath, of someone who's a scheming bastard? It's not just killers, like just people who basically they're usually intelligent people, and they just like to cause pain upon others. They like to watch people suffer. They like control. They like dominance. They like people that like to dominate. They like to be very secretive in the shadows, and they like to just, they have such sick, twisted pleasures. And so I did a lot of research. What makes the mind of a serial killer? I watched a lot of documentaries about different serial killers like Jeffrey Dahmer and Ed Gein. How do you pronounce his name? I'm sorry, that's probably a mispronunciation. Who else? Charles Manson. Those are the popular ones. There was a lot of them. The Blood Queen from back in the day. What was her name? Elizabeth it was Elizabeth Bathory, or I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name right either. I apologize for that. I sound really stupid, but I know what I'm talking about. Elizabeth, the Blood Queen, one of those queens that she had a castle, and this is the story. I do a lot of research on serial killers and different types of poison because it's very interesting to me. She used to have a castle, and she used to take lots of women, and she would torture them, have sex with them, and kill them. And keep killing them, and have bodies, and drink their blood. That's where her name came from. The Blood Queen is what they called her. And that's really sick and twisted. And there was this Vlad the Impaler. He used to just impale folks in the ass to the mouth. And put the sticks in front of his castle. What's another famous serial killer that was very interesting to watch? I watched so many of them I can't even remember. But I would watch stuff on ID Discovery, Investigative Discovery, about these different types of serial killers that are very interesting. Like, there's a serial killer that like blood, and then there are serial killers that like bodies. They like the head, they like the genitalia. It's like kind of like taxidermy. They stuff it. There are serial killers that like to fuck dead bodies, and have sex with dead bodies. And there, who else was a very interesting serial killer? There are women serial killers too. They say most women serial killers kill with poison, which is interesting because most men are very aggressive. The aggression is linked to the sexual desire, the desire to control your everything, to control the woman, to kill her. Because a lot of these men, I've learned about these serial killers, men, is that they've been played out by women their whole life. There is a serial killer, I forgot his name, but it was a really fucked up and sick thing he went through with his mom. Like, his mother would read him the Bible, and if he was bad or something, she would like punish him and always made him read the Bible. And she used to give him oral sex when he was a kid. It's very sick shit. And used to sexually abuse him and give him oral sex. And he grew up and he killed his mom. And he started abusing, like bringing women to this house and having sex with them. And when they have, I don't know if this is the same guy, but I know there is a guy that he likes to have sex with women, and when he has an orgasm or when she has an orgasm, he kills her. He slits her throat and watches the blood come out of her. Like, while she's having an orgasm, she's screaming while she's having an orgasm because she's dying. It's some very sick shit, but it goes on. And I try to understand what gets someone to this point. Because I know babies are just born like this. Like, they're just born. Or maybe they have the past of their relatives are sick. So they end up, their parents are sick, so they end up coming out sick. But I've been trying to understand, like, what makes these people tick? What gets them to that point of thinking about this sick shit? Like, thinking about spending a lot of time alone, playing with dolls, taking the dolls' heads off, and then you go out to the strip scene and find very desperate, vulnerable women, taking them home, putting some shit in their drink, like give them a roofie, take them home. Next thing you know, their body parts are in 5 different places. It's the same goddamn story, and these men say the same thing. Some men don't care, like, fuck these bitches, I'm gonna kill them. And some men, it's more of a, it's interesting how sexual desire is linked to violence. You can get very, very violent when you're having sex. It's a very interesting correlation between the two. And these men are so aggressive, and they're so dark. They have such a darkness. A lot of these men in positions of power, which I just had my previous video, a lot of them have a severe dark side. To know you have that much power in people's lives, and the feeling of darkness is like, it's like a high. I felt it before. I've been in darkness. I've been possessed before by spirits or myself or different aspects of myself that never come out. I've been possessed, the dark side, and just, it's really bad. And a lot of people, the reason why our relationships don't work out is because of that. They try to reap the benefits from my dark side, because my dark side is linked to the sexuality in me as well, and that's probably what kept people around. But the dark side can get really bad. I'm not just saying that to be all cool and intimidate folks. It's just straight up really bad. It's just bad. There are times where I blank out and I don't even know what's going on. I don't know what I'm saying. I speak in different languages. People think I'm weird, crazy, putting on an act. This is some true shit. The darkness is not a joke. I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying this to intimidate people. A lot of art, especially artists, I know a chick at my job. I understand her very well, because she has to deal with a situation in her house just like I had to with my mom. And she's going crazy, you know, and she to keep herself grounded, she writes. And then when someone takes that away from her, that shit triggers. And some people can control it better than others. Me, I always bring like a piece of paper or a sketch pad around, because if I start feeling that darkness, I gotta keep myself grounded, because I do not want to be put in a straitjacket and taken away to the hospital. Okay, I'm not saying this stuff to intimidate folks, because someone's probably saying, oh, I know I can fight that bitch. I don't care if that bitch says she's crazy. No, it's not something to challenge, because people think this shit is funny and fun and games, like, oh, I'll fight that bitch any day. The dark side is not a joke. It's a very sick and twisted, severe thing. And people are so ignorant that they take that as a challenge. They want to test you. They want to see your dark side. I want to see this dark side you're fucking talking about. Let's go. What's this about? It's not funny. It's very fucked up. And I don't want this to be a part of me, because some of the things in my mind, I can relate to serial killers. That's why I do so much research, because I'm thinking, am I going to potentially be a serial killer? I don't have the heart to kill anyone. I couldn't kill a fly. I mean, I killed some roaches. I don't have roaches, but I have killed some roaches in my day. I don't mean to be like that. I've killed some roaches and some spiders, but I'm not a killer. Like, I'm not a killer, but there are aspects of me that are very similar to serial killers, and I wanted to understand myself by studying these people. I'm going to do a part two of serial killers. How do they get to the point of getting to the point of doing what they do? We'll come back.